Hello, beautiful Leos, and welcome to my channel, GreenLion Goddess Tarot. This is a reading for, well, I was guided, instead of doing the usual fortnightly reading, which is the 16th to the 31st of March, we have a very significant date that is occurring, which is the 20th of March, which is both the equinox and the start of Aries season, fellow fire sign. And it's also the start of the astrological year, which means we are bringing in something new for the new year that's coming. And because we've just been through Pisces season, and Pisces is the 12th sign, Pisces has also been in Neptune, which is its home planet. So in this 12th sign of the zodiac, we say goodbye to a lot of things. There's things that we release, there's things that we let go of, there's endings. So I feel like it's exaggerated, I feel like it's more intense because of the fact that Pisces is in its home planet of Neptune. And so it's a sense that something very big, maybe even karmic, has left, and you may not even really understand what that is, because the Neptunian energy can be quite watery. It can be hard to define what that is. And so that's why I think that whatever's being let go of is something kind of huge that could have been something from even past lives, or something that you've been carrying around your whole lifetime even. And so what's coming in is something very new and potent. And so that's why I kind of got guided to do this reading. And I was kind of doing that thing where I was like, yeah, I'll do that if I've got time. And then I got sick. I got a cold, and you can hear that my voice is a bit croaky, still getting over it. And that just meant that I was not going to do the fortnightly readings in the time span that I had to do that. I just wouldn't have been able to do that physically. And it kind of went, okay, I'll listen. I'll do this reading. So it's an interesting time for you this year, Leos, and some of you have probably already felt it because of all the planets that are in Aquarius, which is your polar sign, your opposite sign, and in particular Saturn. And that means that at some stage, and you may have already experienced this or may be experiencing it now, Saturn will be in direct opposition to your sun. And Jupiter's there now, which softens it, but they're kind of opposite energies, and it gets complicated. And really, for most of us Leos, I've just pulled 3 cards. We have the 2 of Cups, Pentacle King, and the 10 of Wands, Sun, Sagittarius, Taurus, Crown, and Moon, Cancer. I'll talk about them in a sec because they've all just come out. They're good cards to come out, actually, Leos. Really, with Saturn coming in and opposing your sign, Leo, because Aquarius is the opposite sign to Leo, it really is. Saturn makes us, it kind of makes us work at something. It's a bit of a reality check. It can come in and go, how is this working or not? And this is really going to hit our relationships. And so it can be challenging for us as well sometimes. It can also feel like things are going slow, or personal goals are finding they're moving slower than what we want. And so it can be challenging. But the thing with Saturn is that it really is an energy of maturation. It's making us be a little bit more mature about things, really working through stuff, making sure things are grounded in reality and will actually work. And when we get through the other end of this, the rewards are really great, so much greater than just a smaller transit. And sometimes these transits can last up to 9 months. And so it is a sense that if we can look at some of our relationships honestly without projecting, meet the other person halfway, relationships will be tested, and some of them will move into a greater commitment, and some of them will fall apart. And it just it's a bit like the tower energy. It will just, things that are built on solid foundations will withstand that and become even bigger and better. Same with personal goals. It might mean that you have to rework it a little bit more, and it takes a bit longer, but ultimately it means that you're going to get a much better result at the end. So it's kind of interesting energy. And this is maybe, the first time that all of these planets are together in Aquarius. And it may actually be, the last time Saturn was in Aquarius was in 1991 and to 1994, somewhere in that period. And so it can be that this is probably the most intense time of your lifetime to have to deal with this. And so it's actually really, really interesting energy. And I always see, I had this actually insight that came to me, this intuitive insight that came to me last week, because as a lot of you know, I'm a Leo. And so I've been thinking about this Aquarian energy that's been around. And what really came to me was it is a polar energy. Often use the word opposite, and what they were saying is that it's like the two poles of the planet, and you need them to be in alignment, otherwise the Earth starts spinning on a different axis, and that can cause all sorts of environmental catastrophic effects. You're out of balance. And so by bringing it in, it creates this balance and it creates this synergy and this alignment. And so you become even stronger. And so your personal goal, your relationships, who you are and how you shine in the world, that becomes even stronger. But there are sort of things that we need to learn about shining, plus also being part of the collective and the group. So it's kind of interesting themes that are coming through, Leo. So I just wanted to do this reading and I just wanted to share that with you, because I do think probably for all of the signs, it's going to be an interesting one for us, for the Leos. But I think the rewards are going to be great at the end. It doesn't necessarily mean all bad news. So let's go to the reading. We have the Two of Cups. There's Death. And there's the Ten of Wands twice coming in. Okay, so releasing a huge burden. So this is actually really, this is about what is the big thing that is birthing for you. And this is the big thing that is going to be tested along the way, but it's going to end up being even more successful. So we're going to be looking at that in this reading today and see kind of what information comes out. And like I always say, you're the master of your own energy. Just take what feels right and leave the rest, because you've got different aspects and different areas of your chart. It's going to be different for all of you. So let's look at this. The Two of Cups, Moon, Cancer. Immediately we're looking at relationships here with the Moon, the Cancer, and the Five of Pentacles underneath it. It can be, this, like I said, it can be a challenging aspect coming through for this with relationships. But really it's looking at how relationships are fulfilling your needs. Are you getting what it is that you need, what you want from something? Are you feeling, it can be feelings of rejection or wanting to reject somebody. A relationship might feel like suddenly you're being left out in the cold, or it can feel like it can be heavy and burdensome. And so this can be an energy of looking after yourself, nurturing yourself. But how do you do this plus look after somebody else as well, or look after and nurture a relationship as well? And this doesn't have to be a partnership. It can be work relationships. It can be any kind of relationship. Okay, Leo, I had to stop it for a second because I had a phone call, and then Stella turned up, my beautiful cat. So she wanted to turn up with the Leos, hey? And go, I want to talk to my beautiful Leos too. So, the Five of Pentacles can also just, I think it's really looking at themes where you felt unaccepted, left out. It can feel like there's lack around a relationship as well, or lack of love. Can even be loneliness for some of you coming through. But we'll see what other cards are coming through with that. It's not all bad. It's not all doom and gloom, Leo. So, the thing is that it's actually, like I said, with the Two of Cups, that's the card of love. So it's going to be really, really clear to you what relationships you're getting the love from and what you're not. And this is like the polar opposites. It can also be that, the Five of Pentacles might be related to work relationships, that you're not feeling valued enough at work and that you're getting paid what you're worth. So that can also be something that comes up as well. But like I said, this has all been brought up for something to work through. It is unfortunately a year of working stuff through and doing some work. But like I said, the the rewards are greater. So we have the Pentacle King, Taurus Crown, and Death card. And again, this is interesting because there's a huge transformation around career, around your relationship to power and money. And this could be related to a boss, your own relationship yourself, if you are the boss. And I feel like what it's doing is it's actually interestingly, Stella's just having a big old stretch there. I'm just going to move some of the cards out of your way, Stelly. With these two combined, what I'm getting is that particularly work relationships or relationships with a boss, it's going to be really obvious, like I said, what's not working for you. And so I feel like this is a lot of you stepping into your power, wanting to either start your own business or be your own boss, or if you already are a boss, it's like you are withstanding challenges and stamping your authority on the position. So it's kind of it's actually very powerful, and that can also be more money coming through, transformation in terms of money. Now, interestingly, we have the Ten of Wands, Sun, Sagittarius with the Ten of Wands. And the Ten of Wands is all about releasing a burden, something that has become burdensome to you. Sorry, I'm just going to move this. Something that's become very burdensome to you, and it's like a double burden. This is going to feel even more. Like it may have been something that was burdensome before. With this influence, it's like we're going to make this so intense that you realize this is something you have to release. You have to let go of something that is really, really not working. So it's kind of like it's going to make the energy really, really intense. Stella's just giving me an interesting look. Sorry, my voice is so croaky. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting what's coming through for you, Leo. Let's see if we can get some more. Look at this little belly. This is so cute. You like your belly rub, don't you, Stella? Let's see. I love it when the cats come in for the Leo reading, being little felines themselves. What else is coming through for Leo? The World. So there is going to be a completion of a cycle, which is fantastic, that we were talking about. I do feel like it's a work relationship or just a relationship where you haven't felt valued. And there is a liberation from that's coming through, and that is fantastic. The Five of Wands. So there's a conflict around this huge transformation. It's actually, I feel like it may be that you were in conflict with a boss or someone of power, or in terms of money, like it could be a bank even. It could just be someone with your own, it could be an abundance block within yourself. And that is what's transforming here. And it's also, this Five of Wands is the collective as well. And it's interesting because, again, it comes back to that Aquarius, Leo, polar opposites, polar opposition. I really don't like the word opposite, but I can't find any other word. If you can come up with a better word, let me know. It comes down to that. Like, Leos don't like just being, but part of the crowd. You do like to be able to stand out and express yourself. And sometimes it's like, how do you do that whilst being in a group and not being the leader? It's like this transformation is around your leadership ability and how that fits in with the group as well. And so that maybe your understanding of that or how you've worked with that dynamic is transforming. And it is about being open to the group's needs and the group collectives, and maybe talking to and being more connected to bigger groups and finding your place in this. Let's see what's becoming burdensome. Stella's just like, yeah, I'm releasing the burden. Okay, the High Priestess. So, this is highly intuitive energy, as most of you know, with the High Priestess. And this is something that intuitively you've probably known for a long time. It's kind of part of the acceptance of knowing that you, again, the black and white, the opposite energies coming in of the pillars that she's surrounded by, and she's able to intuitively work with that. And it can also seem that, interestingly, part of this burden can be opposition to people at work, feeling like there's conflict, feeling like you just no longer resonate. It might not necessarily be related to work. It can be anybody. But again, there is a sense that you're going to find very, very strongly what works and who sticks with you and what doesn't. And your intuition will guide you very strongly around that, Leo. So let's see what else is coming through. And it's interesting, like sometimes I think the way the readings happen are very symbolic. And this reading, you know, we're getting there, but it's becoming a bit of a mess. There are obstacles in our path, or one very lovely obstacle, but you know, the rewards of having her here are great because it's beautiful having Stelly here. So again, it can be a sense that things can be challenging, but I do feel like there's this amazing success that's coming as a result of it. I've just got these upside down. So the Seven of Swords coming through. It may be that you might be planning to leave a situation, and you might have been planning this for a while, but it just feels like in terms of a relationship that hasn't been working, and you feel like it's reached its natural conclusion, there is a sense of wanting to leave and get away from that. And this doesn't have to be like a partner. And like I said, the relationships will be tested, and those that are meant to be in your life will stay in your life, and it will be even bigger and better. But those that aren't will go. So the Pentacle King, we have the Ace of Cups, beautiful, coming through. So I do feel like, you know, this is going to be hitting a lot of your career lines, or in terms of money and career coming in. And it's like being a big overhaul of self-worth, really, understanding that, but also understanding that you've got to give as much as you take, and that's kind of finding that middle ground within something. And in terms of your career, I feel like it's been a long and windy path to get to here, but you're getting a lot of clear information, a lot of information deep down, and you're stepping into your sovereignty again. And there's a new dawn coming in, and this Ace of Cups is something new is birthing, something amazing is birthing that is going to bring a lot of happiness, an emotional opportunity that's going to bring something that can bring a lot of healing around your relationship to authority as well. So this can be the birth of, there's a very significant birth coming. So this can even be the birth of a child. It can be the start of a new business. It feels like the squeeze is on. Pressure's going to be put on something that is not working, and you're just like, okay, I'm going to start something new. And there's this lovely energy around it. There might require some discretion around moving into this. But let's see what else is coming through. And the goalposts may change. The goalposts may change in terms of, she's like, I'm going to knock that angel down. In terms of, you know, it might be a year of, like, in terms of if you're starting up something new, it might be that you think it's going to be this, and then it gets tested, it becomes they're the goalposts, and then it comes over here, and eventually it aligns to there, and that's where they should have been all along. And maybe for whatever reason we didn't start there, and we end up there, and it's like this is the alignment that needed to come in, a bit like this, of the polar energies that needed to come in. And this can be related to relationships as well. So if those relationships that are meant to stay there, you find this alignment, and then that is when it can grow and become something amazing. The Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so once you release this double burden, there's a sense of being able to find the space for growth to come through. So this Seven of Pentacles can be investments. It can be investing in self, investing in a business. This is saying that you've got money there. There will be money to support this, and that money has the potential to grow. And especially with that Pentacle King, there is an opportunity for a lot of material success coming through, and material security coming through. It just is that you're going to have to work a little bit to get it, Leo. But it's kind of like if someone said, it's like it's showing me a martial art that you need to kind of keep working and training at it in order to become the best that you can. And that's what it's a period of refinement and getting mastering something. And so if someone said, look, if you walked through this tunnel, and it may be a little bit challenging to walk from A to B, but you'll get there, you'll be fine. And when you get to the other end, you're going to be stronger. And at the end, you're going to get, say, $500,000. I'm just giving a number. But you could go through this tunnel, which is a lot easier, this second tunnel over here, and you walk through, it's pretty easy. And at the very end of it, you get $1. Like, that's a huge, ridiculous, exaggeration, but it's kind of saying the rewards are so much greater. And for whatever reason, they were showing me that. And they were kind of, because they were giving me this really ridiculous, difference in the money, I do feel like it's very strongly, again, related to success and money. And personal relationships also impact on that, impact on your success. So, yeah, they're kind of saying it could be like the difference is actually quite vast. So let's see what animal spirit energies you're working with other than Stella. Stella the cat. And there will be a period where things will settle down. But yeah, interesting. But it's like you can't rest on your laurels at any point. You need to keep changing and adapting and moving and going with the flow and getting out of, I mean, it's a period of flux and change, which is, it can be, depending on other aspects of your chart, it can be easier for you, it can be harder for you because Leo is a fixed sign. But we do have coming out here the vulture. And this is really saying there's a huge karmic cleanse. You're cleaning up a lot of stuff in your life. If you're in a long-term relationship, sometimes we can go down that path and just little things come up that you may or may not address for whatever reason. And so that is being addressed. That is being cleaned up. Your relationship to yourself, self-worth, your relationship to money, everything. It's this huge karmic cleanse that's coming through. You may feel the need to clean up your diet. It can be really great for health benefits as well. And it can be, your house, making some changes around the home, rearranging it so it's simpler. It's like simplifying things, simplifying your life, taking away some of the complications so that things become easier and healthier for you. So that's actually really powerful, this vulture energy, because the vulture bird cleans up the bones of the dead. It's cleaning up things that have gone, they've finished, and it's just that final release and letting go of that. So it's actually really, really positive. So I'm going to I actually want to pull you a fairy card, Leo. The fairies wanted to come have something to say. And what I'm getting for you, Leo, as well, is that even though there's some things that are going to be interesting and challenging, there's going to be a lot of support, a lot of support around. So you're going to really see who's there to support you and who isn't, how your needs are getting met and how they're not. So we have the Piper and the Dark Lady have come out, and the Dark Lady is a little bit like that vulture energy. It's very scorpionic energy. It's about deep, dark transformation, stepping into your personal power. So, and the Piper is about where you followed somebody else. The Dark Lady doesn't follow other people. She steps into her power. It's like the energy of the witch. It's like she is powerful. She steps into the divine feminine and doesn't need to serve anybody else. She serves herself and her own intuition. She follows that. And she's got her own wings, her own path. So, the Piper's an interesting one because it kind of saying step into your power, follow your own path, follow your own, where you're being guided from yourself. And this power will be rising and rising and rising and will need a place to be directed. And so that's why it's actually good to be directed into something very practical and grounded, like this energy of Saturn, as opposed to, oh, she's just knocked the intuition off. So, I mean, it should actually be, say, really trust your intuition on this one, because there might be times where that goes a bit array, like, or it goes a bit sideways, like quite literally we've just lost it. And so, yeah, I mean, I just think it's about, you know, stepping into leadership, your own personal leadership, following your own heart and playing dancing to the beat of your own drum rather than listening to someone else. It's also saying, very importantly, to be aware of your frequency of what you're putting out there, because there is a very powerful frequency to step into here with this. And this is like, I'm 100% me. I'm 100% showing you my power. I'm not giving you 80%. I'm not giving you 60%. For whatever reason, I may have dimmed my light. I'm actually stepping into my full power and seeing how this feels, seeing how the world responds to it. And then I will adapt and move and refine and become mastery of that. Because at first people might be like, whoa, that's just too intense. That's too strong. And then it can be like, well, I'm not going to dim my strength, but I'm going to work out how to communicate and be so that it's a more comfortable space for you to deal with that. So, and how am I going to turn that into something that is a successful message for the world as well? So it's kind of interesting energy coming through for you, Leo. So that very much the powerful divine feminine, the dark lady. And again, you know, there's a sense of persecution with that. You know, it's the high priestess energy, the sorceress, the witch. It's kind of that kind of energy coming through. And like I said previously, that energy would have been scapegoated. So it may be that you went, well, I don't want people to scapegoat me, so I'll dim my light. And it's like, well, it's working out how to be out there, fully out there, and managing that energy, mastering it. So it's kind of interesting what's coming through. Okay, we have, as I say yes to life, life says yes to me. Yes. Okay. Life mirrors my every thought. As I keep my thoughts positive, life brings to me only good experiences. And that's going to be interesting. One of the challenges, I think. I open new doors to life. I rejoice in what I have, and I know that fresh new experiences are always ahead. I greet the new with open arms. I trust life to be wonderful. And yeah, I mean, I think, you know, again, it's saying be aware of the energy that you're putting out and outputting and putting into something, because that's what you're going to get back in spades. You're going to get that in buckets full. So, you know, it's about a process of refinement. George agrees. We've got again, the animals are all supporting you. So it's actually quite an interesting time for you, Leo. And it's interesting because at some point, while it may feel like a lot of chaos and Stella's just left, and I actually do read a lot about, I know some people not into this, but I read a lot about how the readings occur. And I was thinking, well, at some point, Saturn would make sense and put everything back into order. So this is not making sense. It's like chaos, there's obstacles, and then suddenly we have an opportunity to put everything back into order, and then a new voice comes through, a new energy of George the Rooster comes through. And so it's like following a new path of your intuitive energy that's coming through. We're missing the High Priestess. Got to work out where everything goes. Yeah, she's kind of gone, but we will get her back because we have the Dark Lady, and it's kind of interesting actually, because I kind of felt when that happened, I had this weird, this just sounds a bit odd, but I had the weird feeling that the Dark Lady gave the High Priestess the flick. And I know this is going to sound odd to some of you, but it's just how my intuition works. It's highly imaginative. And it was kind of like what George is doing now is that it feels like there's an old way of interacting with your power and your intuition that is being replaced by this different energy that's coming in. And so, and it could be even it's just different. It's very powerful, but different. And it might be more grounded as well. So it is a sense of working with something new and big emerges in terms of your personal power. And so that's kind of something that, that's going to be different for you. So there's different mode of operation coming through in terms of how you work with and trust your intuition, which is actually quite interesting. So and now we feel like something has gone. I'm going to actually replace it. They said replace that spot and see what else is coming in. So we have all the Six of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. So this can be money coming, news of gifts of money coming. Wow. And that might come completely out of the blue for some of you. This can also be about, if it's not money, but I do feel like this is some kind of gift that's coming to you, or support, a financial support, and it's just coming as a gift. It's not like a bank loan where you have to pay something back. It's like, here's something, use it, we don't need to pay anything back. So this kind of comes once everything order starts restoring and you get to that point of refinement where you've mastered and simplified everything and put it back into order again. And this Page of Swords and the Six of Pentacles, again, it can also be around just learning, a lot of learning coming in, learning new stuff, learning new skills, a lot of information coming to you. It can also be a beautiful balancing of relationships where there's a lovely balance of give and take within a relationship. So that's actually also a very lovely thing that comes in. And again, it's that sense that everything becomes strengthened as a result of this. And this is really a wonderful opportunity because this, like I said, could be a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity that all of these planets are in this sort of very intense area of Aquarius. So no wonder we got the key to your heart. There's a beautiful heart here as the final message to charm. The key to your heart, or the key to unlocking your heart, or the key to following your heart, lies within you. And so I think I'm just being told something very powerful gets unlocked. And now they're showing me it's like opening Pandora's box. It's just suddenly like, whoa, all this stuff just opens up and all the murky, yucky energy comes out. But once it gets cleared and released, in comes the energy of hope. In comes the energy of a sense of renewal, a sense of finally I see the light, finally I can see the path ahead, finally I can see where I'm going, where previously I hadn't been able to see. And it's just this sense of the heart opening and going, huge sense of, heart being unlocked. And that is the major chakra that's being worked on, and the major chakra of you, Leo. So, it's really, really huge, and it's a different energy to what there's all this knowledge and realization that you can't actually intellectualize, you can't actually put into words, but it's this sense of self-belief that comes through with it, and a realization that you can actually make a dream a reality. A wish can come true. And that realization comes because of all the work you've done on yourself through this process, through this period. And that's what makes it even better, because it's not just someone going, here, this is for you. You fully embody this. You own it. And again, it's that sense of coming back into your sovereignty. So, it's quite the process, Leo. It really is. But like I said, the rewards are greater, and they're showing me the rewards now. And my heart chakra is just like boom, right open. So it's just really, really amazing what's happening. And it's that energy of just feeling really super confident, and knowing on a very deep level that you can do something and what your worth is. So I feel like it's a good time to be setting some personal goals, working on them, starting new businesses for some of you, or new forms of income. This can be letting go of an old form of income that's coming in and being very discreet about that. So it could relate to a job or whatever it relates to. And this is stepping into your power here. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. And Stella's back now. So that's it, Leo. We're going to take it over to the extended reading now, and we're going to look at some clarifiers around this, get some more information. I'm going to look at the future beyond and what else is coming in with this. And we're also going to pull some cards particular for career, money, and love and relationships. And we're going to look at that, focus in on that. So I'd love it if you come over to the extended reading. The link is in the description box below, and it will take us over to Vimeo. And then just when we thought order was restored, in comes Stella. So again, they're just saying it's not a perfect formula. You've got to work with the changes and work with when things come up. And yeah, we'll see where this goes in the extended. Kind of interested to see where this goes. So the link is in the description box below. I usually pin the link to the comments as well. But if this is where we're leaving each other, Leo, thank you so much for joining me. It's going to be an interesting year for sure, but I think it's going to be ultimately a really great one, because I feel like you can platform off this year into the rest of your life, pretty much. This can be the year that you look back at and go, that was the key point to my success. So yeah, it's actually a very interesting year. So if you enjoyed this reading, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And take care, Leos. Bye.